Today, I want to teach you something that fiction writers know. It's not enough to have good ideas for stories. To make the 2D ideas feel 3D, those stories need to come to life. Fiction writers can make this happen by asking, is there evidence in my story's events? Does my writing show and not tell? And then making sure that they storytell bit by bit. It's helpful to remember some of the things you learned in sixth grade and even before that about drafting stories, and to keep those things in mind as you move forward in your current stories. One of the most important reminders, of course, is that stories are a balance of summary and scene. For example, I could write this. On Friday afternoon, Mr. Kovarbus's snake escaped from the tank in the science lab. Or I could write, the breeze rattled the shades as it blew into our classroom windows. There was soft music playing in the background. The classroom was still, except for the occasional turning of a page. Everyone was engrossed in reading. Suddenly, the door to the classroom swung open with a slam. Mr. Kervarbius stood in the doorway, his glasses slightly crooked, his forehead beaded with sweat. The snake escaped! The first version is summary. It tells a lot of information really quickly and in not many words. It sums up the action. The second version is storytelling. It's written in scene. It shows what's happening bit by bit. Storytelling is what you will want to do when you draft. Another tip for helping you draft in a way that makes your stories come to life, makes them 3D, is to not just tell the reader something and expect them to believe it, but rather to be almost like a criminal who wants to be caught by leaving evidence everywhere of the story you are writing. Let's think back to our Esmeralda story again. In the scene where Esmeralda is listening to Liz and Mauve say things about Tilly, we could start like this. As the two girls talked, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. That's a fine first sentence. We're allowing the reader to see into Esmeralda's thoughts. But to make Esmeralda's state of mind bounce off the page, to make it 3D, I can ask myself, where's the evidence? And then I can write in such a way that I'm leaving clues, leaving evidence that what I am telling the reader is true. So here I want to think about how to show Esmeralda is uncomfortable and that she's unsure what to do. I can think a bit about what I do or I know other people do when they're uncomfortable. I know I fidget. My clothes feel weird, like they're too hot or something. So let me give that a try. The room felt really hot all of a sudden. I was beginning to wish I worn a lighter shirt. This one is making me sweat. I think that works for the uncomfortable part. I think that's some solid evidence that we've added. Now, let's see about the not knowing what to do part of the story. I could maybe make her fiddle with something or start to do something just to look busy. Okay, let's try this again. As the girls talked, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. The room felt really hot all of a sudden. I was beginning to wish I had worn a lighter sweater. This one was making me sweat. I looked down at my phone, checking for text messages that weren't there. Then I noticed how dirty it was and made myself concentrate on slowly cleaning the screen with the bottom of my shirt. Writers, did you see how I made the opening of this scene popped? I didn't just summarize. Instead, I pushed my writing a bit more, asking myself, where's the evidence? And then adding that evidence in, storytelling it. You can do this with your scenes too to make them come alive. Now it's your turn. Go back to the lesson platform for your next activity.